Alright, hi everyone from the Prot Discord again. It's Jakey here. As promised, I said I would record my first run with Reprisal. Um, so this is it. Sorry it's missed again. I know my last video was also missed, but that's just the way the pug life goes. Get invited to a key, you join it. Um, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what Reprisal is, it used to be an old legendary. I don't know what it did because something like 200% increased revenge damage on your intervene or something, because it was useless and you never wanted to use it. Now, however, it's probably our go-to legendary for most dungeons. Maybe not the other side because there's a lot of magical damage, and you can use it on a lot of boss fights, just not Sludge Fist, because you don't want to take 6 seconds of the boss meleeing you with both his abilities, basically. What is the new reprisal? It's big. It gives us shield block when we charge and intervene. It also gives us a revenge proc, and it also gives us 20 rage. So that's about 40 for the revenge and the 20 rage. Around 30 for the shield block. It's not a full shield block. It's only 4 seconds, but it's around 70 rage in total. On a charge, and on an intervene. So it's really big. Obviously, this is my first run, so this is before they hotfix it to actually be 4 seconds, like I said in the patch notes. So it's 6 seconds I'm getting in this dungeon. I don't think that changes much from what I've done afterwards. You just have to play a bit better and manage your shield block a bit more, just because you got slightly less time, essentially. So yeah, let's get into it. So general things as we get started. Our talent builds are now changed for dungeons because of this legendary. Essentially, you're now taking double time if you can make use of your double charges, which I'm trying to do. I don't think I probably do it in this dungeon, not very well at least. And you're taking Best Served Cold just because the revenge proc, because it is a revenge proc, you get that free 50% extra damage from Best Served Cold every time you charge and intervene and stuff. So it gives you loads and loads and loads of damage. And you can take AM because all your blocks covered. You don't need bolster anymore. The legendary just gives you enough blocks, so you can take AM. So you get Avatar up all the time. You also get reduced cooldown on shield wall as well, which is great. Not as much as with the wall, but it's still good to have a shorter cooldown on it, obviously. So general approaches of using this legendary. There's several ways you can sort of stack stuff. In this dungeon, it was first time using it, and I was watching some streams in the day, in the background while I was working, and people were trying to fit in too many charges and stuff and making the melee's life a bit bad. So my thought process was I can charge in, get a shield block running, and then I can use my 2 shield blocks, intervene, so the mobs still aren't moving, and then if I don't have shield block up, then get away and charge and stuff like that. Just so you keep them sort of stationary. Obviously, you can stun, all of that stuff. If you're in a coordinated group, you can ask for stun and stuff. You can save shockwave, but it's a pug, so I just thought I'd just try it out. Just try out my theory. It worked out all right. I probably miss a few intervenes and a few charges, and you can laugh at me when you notice I have like 2 charges on cooldown and stuff like that. So yeah. So yeah, little trick there. To try and keep mobs more stationary as well when using this. If there's casters in the pack and they're not being interrupted, you can just back out of range of the caster and charge them. It's a nice little thing. Instead of always trying to charge your current target, look what's furthest away. If it's a caster, you can still keep the mobs relatively close together, which is great. Oh yeah, so that's one more thing as well. Yeah, so now we could just use Demo Shout defensively because it doesn't give us anything. It just gives us 20% DR. Doesn't give us rage because we're not doing booming voice. Doesn't give us damage. It's still probably quite good to use on cooldown, but it is only 20% damage reduction. So I'd just say use it when you feel like it. In my opinion, I don't use it all the time. Oh, there's a mistake. Intervening into melee, which was next to a storming, so knocked up in the air. These affixes suck, by the way, for this new legendary. Many times I've been hit in the air. So I notice he's thrashing there. I don't really need the shield block because he's, thrashing, but did it for damage. But for some reason I didn't run out at the end of thrash to charge back in. So that's a little mistake there. I'll note that for next time. This is also a mistake. I can charge to the prideful at the start, which I've started doing just to get shield block rolling to start with. Not that I'm using blocks at all. Well, there we go. Intervene when you know it's safe on a prideful is fine. Really good, actually. Well, I wouldn't say really good, but something you should get into a habit to if there's melee. Now, since this run, I have come into groups with full casters, which obviously with intervening can suck. You don't particularly, in my opinion, want to charge, intervene to a range, at range, and then charge back in, because you're wasting a revenge proc. You might be stacking the shield block, and that's great, but honestly, you're wasting that 20 rage that the revenge proc sort of gives to you. So I actually ask, can a range just stay close to melee, so I can just intervene to you? And most of the time it works fine with pugs. They don't seem to mind. They're like, yeah, sure. So yeah. Boss, charge to it, get a bit of damage, revenge proc. A bit of misplay there. Probably could have charged the big guy when he came out, get shield block up, but I've just used shield wall so I can pump execute, so risk and warn. I could have got a bit more damage with the revenge proc, but I mean, boss is dead, so it doesn't matter. So something else, if you didn't know about the patch, not particularly anything to do with warriors, but to do with dungeons, they've removed the fact that you can pull mobs through this wall to the right. So unless you're lucky, like I am in this run, you might have to pull more mobs before the final boss of Mists. Other things they've changed, like in the other side, you can't click the teleport back after the Arden Wheel boss before as he dies. It'll just drop you out of the teleport, which is kind of a bit dumb. I think all the bosses should have a teleport back because you waste about a minute running back anyway. So yeah, I don't have shield block up for most of that pull, but yeah, I have charge and intervene on cooldown, which is a bit bad by me, but that's fine. And I leaped into that and used shield block. So yeah, I'm trying to keep them still. I feel sorry for this enhanced shaman because I was putting him in spears all the time, I think, and you'll see that quite a lot. So yeah, I'm clicking. So I've got a mouse over intervene macro. So I screw up a few times, I think, later on, and I click a range, and I might charge because I missed the range. Because I'm actually trying to curse over the character instead of the frame. What I found most useful at the moment is I'm actually got a focus target now, and that's you won't see it in this run because I don't have it. It's something I've added since to the right of my character, which is closer than my party frames, just so I can just mouse over it and just intervene to it then. Obviously in raids that's my co-tank. In dungeons it's either a melee or whatever range is said he's going to stand close to melee for me. So yeah, that's another nice thing to do. See, look there. Put him in nearly put him in spear flurries by accident. Well, not by accident, trying to keep my shield block up. Yeah. Storming, I hate this affix. Please get rid of it, Blizzard. No one actually enjoys it, I don't think. Well, range do, they don't need to care. I care. When I charge into bloody get my shield block up and I hit in the air. So yeah, this is a very lucky route because it takes the ones groups that you usually pull through the wall, and I get the double room, I think. So I don't really care. Like before this dungeon, I said, guys, you can't pull through the wall anymore, so we might have to do more trash before the end boss. In the end, we didn't. Shield block. Haven't got intervene up. Got 2 charges, so I could run away and charge to this while he's casting. Should be really useful, but I'm an idiot and I didn't do that. Got one in there. I wouldn't say that's the best thing to do, leap away and charge back. Just because some mobs are faster and stuff, you have to make sure you actually leap out of range. You have to make sure you turn your character around. Can be done in the air and stuff, well, as you land, but it's not always the smoothest, because you can do it on bosses, of course, but bosses are fast, and you kind of have to be fast with your reactions to turn around and things like that. So yeah, something this legendary does is just gives you an absolute ton of rage. So rage management is a big thing for us, but we have so much rage that you're very likely to overcap. I've overcapped a few times, I've noticed, this dungeon so far, and it's something obviously I'm working on. But I like doing damage, so I'll always choose to revenge pretty much if I feel safe over ignore pain. And sometimes that just overcaps me because I'm getting too much rage from like spear and ravager. Oh, intervened and put him in spear flurry again. And like all of those things put together, and especially on a pull, you have so much rage that it's actually sometimes, in my opinion, now I've played with it and raided with it, to pop at least like a ignore pain just to get rid of the rage. So you're using it on something instead of overcapping and like getting a few more and getting like one more revenge in, but you overcap, so you waste like 20 rage. You might as well just use that rage for ignore pain first. So yeah, these packs are a bit finicky, but you can get knocked away by these. I wouldn't recommend it though. Obviously hurts to get knocked away and get roundhouse kicked by this guy, but you could use it to charge back in if you wanted. So I got shield block running out. I've got, okay, so I intervened there, but I had shield wall up. I could have just intervened and not had to use shield wall, but it's alright. Could have charged back in instead of ran back in. So yeah, as I said, I missed a lot of charges. So I'm walking back because they're standing still. Then I get caught in the mass route. Mass the spell, luckily. And at this point, mob's pretty much dead. So you see, I've got a shield slam proc, and I'm still not used it because I have so much rage. I don't need to, which is really bad. I should be using that, but obviously I don't want to overcap. So maybe I should have revenged or ignore pain so I can get that shield slam proc off. But I mean, it's AoE, so if you have enough rage in AoE to revenge, like, or ignore pain, shield slam is only there to generate rage to do that stuff in AoE. In single target, obviously, you prio shield slam a bit higher, and that's only if you have rage. If you don't have rage, you prio shield slam over everything. But yeah, probably a bit misplay there. I missed probably a few procs of shield slam, but I had enough rage anyway. Like I even hit 100 in that pull, 100 rage, so I probably overcapped a little bit. Fortunately, I had a look at my logs, but I didn't have them running for this run, so it would have been nice to see how much rage I actually wasted through this run. But yeah, I didn't. So as we go into the next boss here, you see it on the Discord a lot, and it's all this new rage with the new legendary, which is shield block uptime. Now, I'm not a fan of using that term because shield block uptime just tracks the time shield block is on you. Now, for dungeons like this, okay, that's kind of an okay indicator, because obviously I'm not really kiting at all, am I? I'm just stood there tanking. So to track your shield block is fine, because you can be like, well, I didn't kite really for like 90% of the dungeon, and my shield block uptime was like 80%, for example. You can quite say you blocked a lot of hits, but the metric you want to look at and why you want to log is you want to look at blocked hits itself. You don't want to look at shield block uptime. You want to see how many melees you've actually blocked. If you can have like a lot of shield block uptime, but only block 50% hits because you have it up when you're like kiting or something, and that'll just add to your shield block uptime. So it's not the best metric. You really just want to look at blocked hits, in my opinion. And the new Reprisal can get you up there. It can get you to 80, probably 90% if you play it correctly. On some boss fights, if I played correctly, well, I was progressing Sludge Mythic, where I said at the start I don't recommend using it on some bosses, Sludge in particular. But I was trying it, and you can get. I was getting 90-95% coverage of sometimes 100% blocked hits on Sludge Fist. So it's quite strong. It's really strong to be able to block so many hits. But shield block uptime, it's an okay metric, but just look at blocked hits if you're logging. It's far more useful to know, because then you can see if you've actually wasted shield block, right? You're like, oh, I put it up for 70% of the time, but I'm only blocking 50% hits. That means 20% of the time you've got shield block up, you're not blocking anything, which is bad practice, kind of. So I just refreshed there, but he goes into the guessing game, so I wasted how many seconds of shield block there? Like 8, 9. I'll try and see if I can catch some of the rest of the dungeon. So freezing trap into dodgeball, so I wasted some seconds there. I don't know why I did that. That was my bad completely. I guess I charged in to try and get shield block up and hit the wolf. So yeah, oops. Exactly. Well, as we get into the end of the dungeon, I might as well talk about the damage buff. All the rage. Yeah, 10% damage is nice. It really is good. It still puts us below certain other tanks, and I'm not sure where we sit on single target. I think we're now second last, not last. It's alright. It's nice. I've been whispered a few times in dungeons about my damage being high, and I'm like, it could be better. Like, I think this dungeon, I could go way better, obviously. I have loads of charges sitting. I have an avatar sitting from the last boss, which I could have used here or at the end of the last boss. So I'm still making mistakes on damage here. Like, I could do probably a fair bit more damage in this dungeon. Personally, myself. But yeah, philosophy of damage as a warrior. Let's get into that quickly. So people are still talking about how, that I don't know, that they've increased their damage a little bit, but it doesn't seem to be up, right? And that just comes probably down to ignore pain usage over revenge usage. You see here, I've charged there, so I've wasted. The druid put treants down, and I decided to charge, so I wasted shield block, and now I don't have it up, and I'm getting meleeed. Okay, there we go. Thank God. Anyway, back to my point. But ignore pain versus revenge. Ignore pain, it's okay. It's fine, but look, it's 6k. It's getting eaten up pretty quickly. It's like 4 or 5 hits or something. It got eaten up. If you have the extra rage and you need to cover damage, by all means, use ignore pain. In dungeons like this, where it's 90% physical damage after like the first boss, you don't need it. Shield block is by far enough. By far enough. And you can just then sit and spam revenge. And because you've got Best of Cold, you're charging in and out, you're intervening, you should be running Best of Cold. You get all this extra revenge damage, and your number should just skyrocket, basically. So before this, my best damage in this dungeon was on a fortified week. So it inflates your damage a bit more because the packs are up for longer, so you can do more AoE for longer time. It was 4.6k. This is a tyrannical week, so Trush dies quicker. and bosses last longer, so our damage is gimped a bit. And you also see at the end the amount of damage that I managed to push out in this dungeon. And I think I could do higher. So, coming to the last few packs, obviously, I'm still thinking we might need to do an extra one, because I haven't thought that we've gone the right way. Like, we haven't gone to the right in the maze, and we got that extra room. I wasn't really thinking. So I was actually surprised when we get last Prideful on the normal pack. Doing this. Okay, so I've got Charge, I've got Intervene. So back to tracking what I'm doing. Sorry. Wonderful. So look, I got 7 seconds of shield block. I can just sit and spam Revenge. And now Treants are up, I can sit and spam Revenge even more, because they're not hitting me. I don't need to care about defense. Yeah, they hit me again. They're all about dying, so not really any point in putting shield block up at this point. No, I do it anyway. Bolstered, take a few hits. Might as well, I guess. Probably didn't need to. Okay, something I've noticed that I'm doing wrong, and I advocate to everyone, is you should put Ravager down before you charge, and I keep putting it down after I've popped Avatar and everything. That doesn't really do much. Yes, Avatar increases its damage, but Ravager has no initial damage. It's just tick damage. So missing a tick of Ravager because you've got you're pressing Avatar or something, it doesn't really matter overall. So that's something I should be thinking about more. And there I just tried to leap out and charge back in and screwed that up. So that's fun. You're still not charging to Pridefuls in this dungeon. As I said, charge to a Prideful. It gives you those extra seconds of shield block where you don't need to put it up yourself. It's great. So, coming into the last boss. Nice and easy. Overcapped Rage on the charge there. Spend Rage before I use Shield Slam. And then we just pump. See, if you pump quite quickly on this boss, he'll just go into cast after cast. Obviously he's meleeing now, but right then we got a parasitic cast into consumption, and you don't need to have shield block up for those. Like, have it up for after. It's the same adage as on Sludge Fist. People like, should I press shield block when the pillar's down? Probably not, because you're going to need shield block up when the pillar's over. Just keep your shield blocks for when you're actually being meleeed. It's really useful. So I popped that last stand here because we're getting into execute phase for the rage generation. Ravager to get more rage. Miss a cast here, unfortunately. But I think it gets dealt with because I still got the time boss. Yeah, it dealt with. It's fine. Break him out. Make sure the ads are on top. Nice and easy. I think charge back in. That was bad play. Charge back into pools and storming. Lucky I didn't get hit by those stormings. Yeah, but that was bad. I could have just intervened to have it up. Coming to the end of the boss fight. Nice and easy. It's died. Nice 2 chest, I think. Yeah, there's 2 chest. And there we go. The bar will disappear quickly. 5.3k damage over the entire dungeon. Pretty good. I think I can do more. I think anyone can do more. You just need to manage your intervenes and your charges better. That'd be great. Anyway, if you got this far, thanks for watching.